journaling friends, it's Kanoy. I am back with another journal with me in my brand new junk journal. I just love this thing. And I have a lot of journaling to do. Had a bunch of things that have happened in the past, I don't know, week and a half, 2 weeks. A lot of pictures that were just sitting on my desk ready to be, pasted in here. And I just haven't done it yet. So first things first is I got my very first pen pal letter and I'm so excited about it. So I definitely wanted to add it in here. I always watch people's happy mail. I never even knew what the term happy mail meant. Even though this isn't technically happy mail, it's a pen pal letter, it was happy mail to me. It made my day. I was just overflowing with joy. And I actually did a process video on the return letter that I sent to my new friend Rachel, and I will link her channel below because she is an amazing person she's a mom of 4. I mean, that already is like gold star. You are the queen. And she does homeschooling. So definitely check her out because she's a pretty awesome person. And I am now decorating behind that flap, just pulling out some scraps from my Planner Society bags. Those are the best bags or the best scraps to work with. They're thin, they don't bulk out, and they're beautiful. And then here is my letter that I sent back to her. And like I said, I have a process video on that, but I didn't want to post it quite yet because I am waiting for her to receive the letter. I guess I could post it and be like, Rachel, don't watch this, but didn't want to do that. So, covering the white space and moving on. I have some photos of my daughter. I got another photo of her first day of school. Actually, the teacher sent it to me, and it was just too cute for me not to put in my journal. So I'm just finding a space on that first day of school page and cutting out a printable doily from Johanna or Little Bindi. I mean, if you're on this video, I am sure you've already seen Johanna's videos because she's pretty much one of the first ones that pop up when you put in the search bar junk journaling. So yes, a lot of my style and inspiration is actually from her. She's one of my favorites, probably my favorite junk journaler out there. I love her eclectic style, love the colors, and she just does her thing, and somebody called me out and was like, she's not the first junk journaler. And I was like, I never said she was the first. I just said she's the first that I ever watched on YouTube. But anyway, I've actually been junk journaling since I was a little kid, if you really want to get technical about that, because I used to save everything and just put them in spiral notebooks. I used to staple it in, tape it in. So anyway, this is a letter that my friend Auntie Pam sent to me. She saw a article about Rel's son, who was a famous surfer in Hawaii, and she wanted to send it to me because I named my daughter Rel. And she said, I thought you would really enjoy this. And it really blessed my heart. I was so happy. So I definitely wanted to save that letter from her. And then here's just some Dove wrappers that had cute little sayings on them. So I wanted to keep them and just simply stapled them onto that craft bag. And doing a little pit stop here on this one a day page from my Flow magazine book, Paper Lovers book that I can't get my hands on. I looked it up the other day. One was like $200. Oh boy, that's okay. I'm hoarding the one book that I do have. And then my family and I went out to the Tivoli Night Market, which is a little village here in Summerlin. And it was really cute. There were a lot of food trucks. We took our dog, and I just love that area. It feels like Italy, has the cobblestone walkways, and it was just really fun. Great food, great shopping. So I wanted to document that. So I'm just writing, hand lettering Tivoli Night Market on the front of this journaling card. And now I am decorating, just pulling out some of the washi. Clearly I have not used this in a very long time because it is stuck. Good washi tape. I mean, obviously it has some good stickiness to it, but I couldn't even get it up. It was tearing all over the place. So I just went with it. And then adding a little ticket there and another torn piece of washi tape. And jotting my thoughts down about this night. And I just feel like I'm getting a little bit better on the decorating. When I first started, I always used to say, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at collaging. But I'm like, you know what? I need to stop saying that. I need to just start doing, just start practicing. You just got to start. That's the best way to do anything. Anyway, I somehow turned off my camera, of course. So this page was actually a vintage children's book page. And as you could see there, it was a picture of a pilot with an airplane. And there was one day we went to pick up my husband because he's a pilot from work, and we were watching the planes land, and we filmed his flight coming in. And it was really special because he ended up actually filming his landing that day too. So we ended up making a video and syncing up the videos. It was really kind of cool how we were connected that way. He doesn't normally film his landings, so I just thought that was so special. Here's another quote vintage book page. It's out of a little mom's book or something, a book for moms. Really cute. I think it was only like $5 from thriftbooks.com. Lots of really great vintage photos in there. Children's books, especially if you like those. They had several of those kinds of books, so definitely check those out if you're into that kind of thing. It's not authentic vintage, but I believe the illustrations are copies of vintage, so they're legit. And here I am attempting to emboss a book stamp onto this paper. I've never used that little dauber from Tim Holtz, and clearly I used way too much of the transparent ink. It just looks like a big gold blob, and so I was like, okay, fail, let's toss that to the side, and we shall try another one. So I pulled a different book stamp and tried again. Less ink this time. It's so hard to tell how much ink you're getting on there because it's clear. So, fall down once, get back up, and dry, and still can't tell what the heck it is. So, moving on to the, original stamping method. Just put some black ink on there and get it on the paper and move on. And that saying is very true, that coffee and books truly do make me happy. This, I wanted to document my daughter, who I picked up a book for her from the library, and it was Doggone First Day of School or something like that. And it was a book about a bunch of dogs, and it was so, so cute. And she fell in love with the book. And it was the first time I've seen her read a book, enjoy it, comprehend what was happening, and want to read it again. So I took a picture of her while she was reading it, and I just said, this is where it begins. This is where the love for reading begins, is when you find that book that you actually like, and then you remember how it made you feel, and you want to find another one that's going to make you feel the same way. I still feel that way. I am a book hoarder as well. I have like several subscriptions to the Book of the Month Club, and I just love books. Love them. One of my dreams was actually to have my own library. So luckily, when we lived in Hawaii, we had no room for a library. I mean, homes there are a lot smaller than you get in the States. And so luckily, when we came here, I was able to get, my dream home, and I have a library in my house now. And this picture was from that same day. She actually wanted her hair done special that day. There was just something special about that day, I think. She had gotten a compliment from the teacher. Actually, the teacher sought me out the day before and was telling me how great she's doing in school and how she's such a good leader and makes good choices and all of these wonderful things. And I think she just wanted to step it up a little bit. Those when your kids get just a boost of confidence, it makes them want to be better. And so I was just like, thank you, Jesus. So I'm just going in and adding a couple of stickers here and there, covering up those white spaces. And I did do some journaling on the back of that little library card. And here I actually pulled the envelope that Auntie Pam sent to me and pulled off the stamp. And I wanted to keep that just because I know when I come across old letters, it's the stamp and the date that I'm most enthralled by. And so here I am doing some journaling about my son's very first football game. He had a father-son football game, and I just so happened to video the one play that he had, and it's kind of a cool shot. I actually was able to screenshot from the video, and the ball is right there, just right at his hands, and he's in the end zone, and it just looks really exciting. So I was like, I have to put that in my journal for sure. I mean, he's at that age where he just doesn't want any photos taken of him anyway. So if I can get an action shot of him, I am winning. And back to the front of the book. Obviously, I do not go in chronological order. Another thing that I learned from Johanna. It takes the stress off of feeling like you have to go from front to back and commit yourself to a certain page. So this is a much better format. I'm so glad she voiced that out. She may not have been the very first one to come up with it, but she definitely caught my attention with it. And so that's what we're rolling with. So this is a photo that another girl posted. I was speaking to their team with Lime Life about recruiting because I was the #1 recruiter last year or this year, and I went in there with a very specific message. In fact, I didn't talk about recruiting at all. I talked about not fearing your greatness, not fearing the greatness that's inside of you, because I said, you know, when I went to Miss America, I actually didn't want to win. I told the press I didn't want to win. And it was kind of this whole big thing. But what I realized is that it's not that I didn't want to win. It's that I feared the greatness and I feared the responsibility that came with winning. So I talked about that, and, you know, God redeems anything. And here is just a piece of packaging off of a cherry container, plastic, whatever, the top of the cherries. I thought it was so cute. So I kept it, cut it out, plastered it on there. We're calling it a day. Okay, so this is our Chick-fil-A ice cream obsession journaling entry. I don't know what they do to their ice cream cones, but we have had a battle of the ice cream cones. You can see one there from Sonic. And prior to eating an ice cream cone at Chick-fil-A, we were saying Sonic had the best ice cream cones. And trust me, I've eaten every single one of the soft serves at every single restaurant. And this is probably debatable to some people. I will not debate with you about which ice cream cone's the best. Same with the fries, right? McDonald's has the best fries, by the way. Actually, Freddy's. If you have a Freddy's, I like Freddy's fries. But anyway, Chick-fil-A has the best ice cream cones. And this is something that my kids and I are now obsessed with. It's our after-school treat. We go there several times a week. Probably not the best thing. I'm not being the best mom. But we do it. And so I wanted to make sure I documented this lovely experience. Oh my gosh. Okay. So now I'm seeing that my video is out of order. And that is where I found the book page of the plane and the pilot, but oh well, we'll figure that one out. This is a book I found at Savers. I think it's called like Fabrics of the United States or something like that. And it was a Japanese book. Look at all these adorable fabrics. I'm like, can I just get my hands on some of those fabrics? But for now, I'll just take the pictures of them. And obviously, we'll use them. I mean, every single one of these prints make me so happy. So I just found one that could be the background piece for this ice dream cone. That's what they call them. They're not ice cream cones. They're ice dream cones. A background piece for that. So here's the packaging. Just finding a place to stick it on there. I also found this adorable vintage children's photo of kids eating ice cream. I just wish people would illustrate the way they did back then. I mean, I appreciate all art. I appreciate the art we have nowadays. I appreciate technology and all of the things, but sometimes I just wish we could get good old-fashioned children's illustrations again. I also printed out an ice dream cone on my Epson PictureMate printer. A lot of people always ask me, what printer do you use at home? That's what I use. And so just finding my place, where to stick everything. And then basically just writing everything that I just said right here in this video. And let's just go back in time, shall we? This is where I found a spot to put in that children's book page of the plane and the pilot. And then maybe you can actually catch a glimpse of those photos that I end up putting in there. So there is his plane overhead. And then the other one was where it almost landed. I mean, you could see the Mandalay in the background. It's everything Vegas. And now you could see it's obviously getting darker outside, so my lighting has changed, but I want to say this was my last entry. I'm not sure, but I just found a postcard, a little spot where there's a glassine envelope, and I'm just doing a little bit of collaging on there with some of that Planner Society packaging, and then I also put a little piece of cheesecloth and just dyed it with the Distress Oxide to give it a little bit more of a vintage feel. And then I added a sticker right there, and that was pretty much it. I journaled on the back of that postcard, and then I also wanted to look into my journal because there was a specific scripture that was relating to what I journaled about. And I'm just hand lettering it right here onto the glassine envelope. And I was pretty happy with it. And then I'm just adding a little bit of faux stitching right around the edge of that envelope to create a little more interest. And nope, that wasn't the last entry. This is some tissue paper from my son's Air Force Ones. He's officially at that age where, I'm trying to be quiet here, where his shoes matter. So definitely a memory to want to document. And I think I can actually say finally, I think this is my last entry. Magic Spoon cereal. If you have never heard of it, if you have never tried it, and if you're willing to spend $10 a box on a cereal, it's pretty darn good, especially if you are doing keto or low carb. Well, I don't know if it's keto friendly, but definitely low carb. I mean, low sugar, high protein, just an overall really good cereal, and it tastes delicious. It actually, my daughter loved it, and that says a lot because she has got the pickiest taste buds in the world. So, good enough for me to fussy cut a picture out of a cereal box. Oh gosh. And of course, it is quite thick. So I was trying to, peel the backing or maybe separate the picture from some of the layers of the cardboard. Oh, but then in the end, it ended up being such a hassle that I just rolled with it. And I wasn't happy with any of the pages, so I finally found this one where I had the little fabric pocket, and I slipped it right in there. But because of the weight of it, I needed to staple it in just because it was kind of flopping around, and I don't know, it kind of worked. It looks like it's writing out of the pocket there. So I just journaled about this cereal and how incredible it is. And I think I pretty much called it a night after that. This was several hours of journaling on my Sabbath Saturday. That's how I like to spend my Sabbath days, is journaling. And I was just very satisfied. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I'm just going back and doing some little tidbits, some faux stitching around. And subscribe if you like these types of videos. I have a pen pal with me video coming up, and do some Bible journaling, all kinds of little things here and there. So either way, I am glad you were here for this one, and hopefully I will see you on the next go around. Aloha.